Hello, everyone. I'm Barbara Ham-Lee. Some like it super short, like mine. Others regally sport cascading curls, quirky coils, dredlocks, afros, braids. Black women have freed themselves from chemical bondage and let their natural hair fly free. But it's been at a cost, emotionally, socially, economically, and for some, it has even affected their health. It's become a civil rights issue for African American women, the right to wear their hair in the way they choose, particularly in corporate America. Don, Carol, Allison, and Will are here, and you best believe they have something to say about natural hair. But first, this is the final day of our winter membership drive, so let's head over to Pledge Central for an update with Nicole Cleveland. Hey, Nicole, how you doing?
Hey, Barbara. How are you? We're so excited to be with you this afternoon.
Oh, I am excited because we have a $2,000 challenge, which means that if people call in between now and 1 o'clock, that their pledge of support will be doubled up to $2,000. And that number is 800-940-7170.
You know what? I bet we can do that.
I bet we
can. Hi, I'm Allison Shea.
Oh,
and I'm
hi,
here as
Allison.
well.
I was told you hadn't made it in yet.
I'm right here, and I'm looking forward to being part of this discussion today, even though I've got, graying blonde hair.
I've got big hair today. I've got big hair today. That's right. If you enjoy Another View and you enjoy Barbara Ham-Lee, you tune in every Friday, we need to hear from you today. We have just a few minutes to encourage you to become a member of WHRV, to become a member of this organization. And really, Barbara is a treasure in this community.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere that I go, I hear people, when I say I work at WHRO, they say, so I said, I know Barbara Ham-Lee. Yes, I know Barbara Ham-Lee.
That's really nice. And the thing is, with this $2,000 challenge that Barbara mentioned, $10 or $20 a month may not seem like much, but it's kind of like putting your money where your ears are. I mean, if you're tuning in every week to listen to this program, we need you to support the station. $10 or $20 a month, add it up, and you'll be, it's doubled right now, isn't it, Nicole?
That's right. It's
Absolutely.
doubled because we have this $2,000 challenge. And we have different thank you gifts that you can choose from. But, I know you want to give just because you want to continue hearing Barbara on the air talking about race relations and being Black in the community and politics and so much more. If that is you, the number to dial is 1-800-940-7170. Or if you're like me, when I'm sitting in my office eating my lunch, I'm streaming through WHRV.org.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Can I out Nicole right now?
Can I jump in there for just a second, Allison? I also want to encourage all of our listeners because, as you know, come January the 9th, 2020, our show will be moving to Thursdays at noon. So it is more important than ever that if you love Another View and you support Another View and you want Another View to continue on the air, we need your support right now at 1-800-940-7170. Give us a call. Your contribution will be doubled up to $2,000 if you call within the hour. And you will show management here that you really appreciate Another View and that you're going to stick with us
Barbara,
through the change.
That's a wonderful point because I know here they take a very strong look at when the money came in. So if you're loving Another View, you want to be supporting the station right now. I was just going to out Nicole. She's here in her public radio nerd t-shirt.
I love my t-shirt.
She's doing it. It's kind of a good looking shirt. And if you're an NPR nerd, if you're Another View nerd, get the NPR nerd t-shirt with a gift of just $120 or $10 a month. It's an easy fix. It's an easy way to support the station, and it's an easy gift that we can send you.
That's right. And if you go online right now, WHRV.org, you get a chance to see all of the smiling faces of the announcers. You get to see Barbara and Jay and Gina.
You're looking good in that one, Barbara.
You are. It's 100% cotton, and it's available through sizes small to extra large.
And it certainly is a conversation starter because when I wear mine out in community, people go, Oh, that's you.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
So step forward now. Step forward now, and as I said, put your money where your ears are. A gift of $10 a month as a sustaining member. It doesn't take long to do. You'll be able to listen to the rest of the program. Call in now. Talk to one of our nice volunteers. It takes all of, maybe 2 minutes to do it.
And Allison, it's Pet Pledge Day. It's the last day of the drive, and it's the most exciting day of the drive. So if you got a little Fifi or Fufu, or you have a little kitty at home, you can call, make your donation, and we will read the name of your pet over the air. 1-800-940-7170, or you can go online, whrv.org. And it does not matter the size of the gift that you give.
Not at all.
All that matters is that you give.
Yep.
All right, ladies, we will check back with you in just a little bit to see how we're doing with our $2,000 match. It is time to get ready to talk about natural hair, and I'm sure we're going to have lots of calls about that also. We'll talk to you soon.
Discussing today's topics from an African American perspective, this is Another View.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Another View. I'm Barbara Ham-Lee. Thank you to those of you who have already become members of WHRV-FM in support of Another View. We so appreciate you. If you find Another View worthy of your support, please pick up the phone right now and call 1-800-940-7170 and make your pledge of support. We do have a $2,000 challenge, so if you call between now and 1 o'clock, your gift will be doubled up to $2,000. So support what you love, which is Another View, we hope, and give us a call now at 1-800-940-7170 or go to whrv.org. It's one of the final frontiers in workplace discrimination, natural hair. Far too many men and women who have gone natural have experienced backlash from employers, from reprimands at best to firings or the rescinding of job offers at worst. Many states have enacted laws to ban race-based hair discrimination, and Democratic presidential hopeful Pete Buttigieg says it needs to be recognized on the national level. So what do you think? Our roundtable thinks plenty. Please welcome Norfolk City Treasurer Dawn Hester. Hey, Dawn.
Hey.
Who is natural. Yes. Norfolk State University Political Science Professor Carol Pretlow, who is also natural. Joining us by phone, Lisa. I was just checking to make sure. Allison, are you here? Hi.
Hey,
Joining us by phone is comedian and entrepreneur Allison Moore. How you doing? Who is also natural.
Yes, very.
And guess what, audience? A blast from the past. Former Another View Roundtable pundit Will Leviste, who in another 24 hours or so officially will become Dr. Will Leviste.
I like the way that sounds.
Welcome, Dr. Leviste.
Thank you, my sister. And I'm also natural.
Yes, you are natural. Yes,
Right.
you are.
But, testosterone heavy natural.
Okay, so we I put this out on the social media and so forth, and obviously a lot of people have a lot of opinions about this, but this really is a serious issue in terms of the workplace. Allison, I know you have a story of when you decided to go natural in corporate America. You want to share that with us?
Sure. So I was young and I was in
Still young. I know, she's still young.
Well, I don't feel young, but thank y'all for reminding me. So, I went to my boss because it was a really big thing. I had been told when I started talking about I wanted to be natural. And that's for those who don't know, that's just means it's how let our hair grow out our head the way that it does and not chemically treat it, not straighten it, not add, take away, just let it be natural. So I decided that I was going to stop getting relaxers or perms, is the way that we term it. I went to my boss first to let her know, because when I told my hairdresser, who was a black woman, said, girl, you don't need to do that. Oh no, girl, you got a degree now, girl. You professional. You can't let your hair be nappy now. You're gonna mess up everything. And I'm like, what? And I'm thinking, surely, you're just a little misguided. I was thinking maybe you're just a little bit older and you don't really know. I want to talk to my boss. She was cool. She was a white woman. She gets it. Let me give her a heads up. So I went to her and told her, hey, I've decided I'm going to go natural. And the process means I'm going to cut my hair down to cut out the permed ends where it's straight. And then it's just going to grow out curly, kinky, ashy, the way that it looks, the way the God is designed for it to look. And my boss looked at me and was like, okay, no problem, just as long as it doesn't look like Lysandria, who, for example, that's not really her real name, but this was another employee whose hair was already natural. She had a really big fro. It was thick and kinky and curly and exactly what my hair was going to look like once it grew out.
Wow.
Or grew out. And I was deflated. That was probably the first sign in corporate America. That was one of the first pieces that I've shared my journey where I'm like, oh, this might not be meant for me. This is a space that really is not meant for me if I'm going to be the person that I am really created to be.
So
it was too much conformity.
Did you follow through, or did you decide to keep it straight?
Oh, no, I followed through.
Oh,
I absolutely followed through. But it made it, I wish I could say, I'm black and I'm proud, and I said, forget her. And it was hard. I mean, I went home. I was scared. I talked to my husband about it. I was really nervous. I almost did it. And I'm like, I don't think they're going to really rock with me anymore because my hair about to be nappy. Like, it's nappy. We have in our own community where we've decided to determine or label different people's hair the way their texture are. Some is good, some is bad, some is whatever. And so I'm on the end of the spectrum where it was not considered good hair. I mean, it is it's beautiful hair. I know it's good hair now, but at that time I was really shook. Like, well, this is definitely going to mess up any plans. My trajectory is shot. My boss feels like that Lysandria's hair is ugly. Long as it don't look like hers. It was terrifying.
Did you get any backlash from work?
No, I didn't get blatant backlash, if that makes sense. Like, okay. But I think that Virginia, we have a unique sense of racism anyway. It's kind of palatted, crushed up in the applesauce and given to us. So it wasn't a oh my God. Once I told her, oh, no, that is what my hair gonna look like, then it just got weird, if that makes sense. It was just awkward as it continued to grow. And then there's stages, so I had to cut mine really low. So it was like, a mini small short fade-ish, fro-ish world. So they grew with me, but it was the day that I came back, it was like nobody was talking. They were all just staring, trying to look when they didn't think I was looking, and I was trying to look away to let them look without me looking at them looking at me. It was all day. It was all day, y'all. And then I'm not really I don't wear a lot of makeup person. And so at that time, I left out the chair from the barbershop, got my hair cut, and went right to JCPenney's to go in Sephora and get a whole full face of makeup. So I came home, because now this is messing with my self-esteem, my confidence, femininity, like everything is being questioned. And I came home really nervous to what my husband was going to say. And he a jokester anyway, so he tapped the top of my head and was like, is this thing on? Because he said it looked like a microphone because my head little with this short black cover. And then I'm like, are you making jokes? And he was like, well, you making jokes? You got a whole full face of makeup. Like, what is that about? And, at that point I was just like, you know what? I just got to be who I am. This is what I look like, y'all. This is what my hair look like. I'm sorry.
Dawn, do you remember when you went natural? And did you have any issues in terms of corporate America before you went out on your own?
I've always been natural.
Yeah, so have I.
I have never had a perm in my hair.
Wow.
And so, I used a straightening comb to straighten my hair. That was, what you did way back then. Mm-hmm. When I decided to go short and natural, which is what everybody really sees now, because most people don't know me with hair. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't go to high school with me, and I had a fro in college, so I don't know anything but natural. Mm-hmm. My afro at the time, because I was not in corporate America, was okay. When I started my career, I straightened it again.
Was that a societal pressure, or did somebody tell you, well, you're a professional now, you need to straighten your hair?
No. nobody would come at me that way. I'm sorry. I've just never, nobody would come at me that way. So
Especially
no.
if they knew you in high school.
It was just, I'm here, I'm working, so okay, let me just get my hair right.
Okay.
And I straightened it. And that maybe lasted in 1980, I think, or 81, is when I said, okay, so I've never liked hair. Period. I know what to do with it, where to put the part, where to do the rollers. I don't know how to wear the little clipper things and put the little curls in. I don't know how to do any of that. So it was like, I can't do this. So I found a picture in a magazine. And I went to a barber shop. And they cut my hair and they ruined it.
Oh.
They didn't cut it all the way down like it is now. But they just... they did it like a barber would do it. And so I found another picture in an Ebony magazine, and I went into Military Circle Mall, into one of the beauty places, and I didn't know anybody in there. I said, I want this. And the young lady that they gave to me, her name is Debbie. She's the only one who's ever cut my hair since then.
Wow.
And Debbie still cuts my hair. So I don't know anything but this, but I think it's because my hair has just always been short and people don't know anything else. They might wonder why I wear it short, but no one has ever asked me that.
So they've never had the nerve to come up to you.
No, nobody's ever asked because they don't know anything other than this. So no, I have not had that. Now, people probably have reacted to me differently.
In what way?
Because I wear my hair short. Just, what's she all about? Who is she? Because, back in the 80s, we were not wearing our hair short.
No, exactly.
So,
but
it's just a...
Well, Carol,
I don't know it.
And the three, because my story is very similar to yours, Don. I mean, mine was from an afro in the 70s, and I was Miss Black Power.
Me too.
All the way through. So it just got shorter, but it's been the same style. But in academia, was that an issue?
It was,
Carol?
because I was at Fisk and I was in the Black Power movement, so nobody cared, but it was a big afro. And then, Fisk is kind of bougie. I got called in about you got to do your hair differently. And I said, well, how differently do you mean? Do you mean braided? I said, no, you got to do something. So I did something. I braided it at first. Too much work. I'm lazy. So, no. So then I decided to cut it. And then I went back to long, but I tell you what was the real change. I went to Sierra Leone as a junior in college. And when I got to the community I was living in, they said, girl, what's wrong with your hair? And I said, what do you mean? And they said, oh no, we got to help you with this. And they cut it and changed it. And I said, well, that wasn't one. They said, yeah, you'll get used to it. And I did. And I loved it. But then I got back at the Fisk and they were like, that's not appropriate for the corporate environment. I said, but who says I want to be in a corporate environment? My parents didn't have any problem at all with it. They're like, do you? But other people, and even when I first came to Norfolk State, it was, well, maybe you could wear a turban or something. I was like, why would I do that? But ultimately, people got used to it. They didn't get used to the nose ring, and I took that out as a compromise. That was a compromise.
So that was your giving.
Nose ring, Dr. Fratlow.
Oh, yes.
I had a nose ring.
Yes, because one of the doctors that I admired in Suffolk, she and her husband knew that I was suffering some problems with flunking algebra like 9 or 10 consecutive times, and my self-confidence was going down. And she said, you know what, Dr. Margaret Reed, she said, I'm going to give you something that will boost your spirits. And so they pierced it, put my little stud there, and I enjoyed it. But then when I got the job at Norfolk State, they said, that stud's got to go. That's okay.
440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240 are the numbers to call to join our conversation. If you call these numbers, 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240, you will be joining our conversation, not pledging for the show. So don't be afraid to call in. Before we take a call, though, I'm going to ask you, Will, from a male perspective, because I know men. This is an issue for men also in the workplace.
Well, for me, I've always worn my hair naturally, either very short. There were some periods I've had a short afro. Mm-hmm. I did in the 90s.
Did you have a Jerry curl?
Oh, I was about to say that. I did in the 90s. I never quite bought into the Jerry curl movement. I'm from Brooklyn, New York, so I wasn't feeling that West Coast flow. But there was a moment in the 90s where I put a little texturizer in there. And I remember when I was living in Arizona. But now my hair is actually very natural in a twist kind of state. And yeah, it is very much an issue.
So, but from a male perspective, in terms of the workplace too, I mean, did anybody ever approach you about facial hair or about the way you born your hair or anything like that? Because I know it seems like from the research that I've been doing, it's primarily women as opposed to men. But I'm just
absolutely.
curious.
For black men, it's very much an issue because you have this undercurrent of being threatening. So if you got facial hair for the most part in corporate America is frowned upon for the most part. If you notice, if you see a lot of CEOs or corporate people, they don't even have a mustache, if anything. Mm-hmm. And, black men have a tendency to have a mustache or have facial hair. So we always have to be conscious of that because of this issue of being perceived as a threat.
Wow. Tempest joins us from Newport News. Hi, Tempest. You're on the air.
Hey, how are y'all?
Okay.
Hi.
Good. Okay, so thank you for taking this topic because it really resonates with me. Okay. I have dreads, and I've had dreads for 17 years now. And I started dreads because I'm something they call tender-headed, and I don't sit for my hair very well. My mom used to, hate doing my hair. I used to hate her doing my hair. So I got dreads. Well, when I was in high school, I was the only African-American girl to have dreads. So people were looking at me crazy up and down, like, what are you doing? Why is your hair looking so bad? So I was really insecure, but I stuck with it because I knew that, my hair was special to me. I didn't want to get that perm. I didn't want to get the braids. So I just continued. So now I look everywhere. Everybody has dreads. But the thing is, I went into the workplace as a manager in a kind of all-white establishment, and I was the only black woman with dreads. And it was a very unique situation because people would ask for the manager, and I would pop up, and I would be, one, black, and two, my hair is natural almost down to my middle of my butt. So it was very, for me, it was awesome because I loved my hair enough to be like, this is me, this is who I am. And I love that they got another taste of a culture where I was because my dreads is something that you don't see where I am. So it was nice to actually put my hair out in that way and not be traditional.
Tempest, did they ever ask you to change your hair?
Oh, no. I came out like I am. Never asked me to. Plus, my hair was 17 years in. So for them to ask me to change it, I would have definitely looked at them crazy, said no, and went to HR. No. So, no, it's very important to me to keep my natural hair just because it's my power, one. And two, it's important for people to see that natural hair is not ugly. It's beautiful, and sometimes it just makes people unique.
Okay. Thanks so much for the call. We appreciate that. 440-2665 or 1-800-940-2240. So in 2010, a woman by the name of Chastity Jones accepted a job offer from Catastrophe Management Solutions as a customer service representative. The offer came with a caveat that she had to cut off her locks. Now, she refused. The company rescinded its job offer. Okay. And the EEOC got involved. They filed suit on behalf of Jones, and they lost. The court said that the company was within its rights. In 2016, the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals upheld the district court's ruling, and they dismissed the case. And so this is an issue that has been going on. The courts cannot decide one way or the other as to whether or not it is important for or it is people allowed to wear their hair the way that they would like to. So now there is a movement on called Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, or CROWN. And it's the CROWN Act ensures protection against discrimination based on hairstyles by extending statutory protection to hair texture and protective styles in the Fair Employment and Housing Act and state education codes. And Senator Sproul is putting is a sponsor of a bill that will be going to the Senate Bill 50 in 2020 to hopefully adopt this for Virginia, to a point where this is an actual civil rights issue, Dawn.
It's
Are you
so
surprised?
sad. It is so sad and wasting people's time. I mean, I'm glad Senator Sproul is putting the legislation in, because you need to have something in law, because if somebody is going to be challenged going in the workplace, then they need to have something to fall back on. So I'm glad that he's doing that, and I would think that it would pass. But you're going to still have the biases within the corporate world. And so when will people of power, the leaders of companies or whatever, wherever you're working, realize that I am not my hair. It's what's in my brain that you want to bring me in to do this job. Exactly. So my hair can flip all over the place. It can be, like the old fro was, and it is me. It's what's in here that you're hiring, not my hair. So why does my hair bother you? Because nobody else's hair bothers anybody. And got long hair, got short hair, to be
got green hair,
flipping hair all day. But I have requirements in my office. Okay. You can't wear bright colors in your hair. I didn't say you can't put color in your hair. But no, you can't come in there.
You can't come in with the yellow and the green and all that.
No, you can't. But that's my etiquette.
But that's professional.
But you can
that's a professional standard.
But I still would never say you can't put color in your hair. Okay?
But I think that's where the challenge of the courts lies, in that one can turn around and say, well, why shouldn't I be able to just put color in my hair? Why is that? For one person, that's a professional standard. For another person, well, it's dreads. That is the professional standard. So that's where, and why it's important for it to go through the courts and to separate these things and saying, okay, are you adhering to a professional standard that people can adhere to regardless of their race? Or are you doing this because it's really a trick bag that you're doing because you're really engaging in racial discrimination, which gets down to what Dawn just said about. It's really about the inequality that's going on, that's still going to be there, whether you're just talking about hair or not. And if we don't really deal with the real underlying issue,
because the hair really becomes the excuse.
That's just a trick. It just becomes the excuse. But that's the challenge, and why it's important that the courts start to address this, so that those issues get cleared up and that people aren't able to easily just use it as an excuse and say it's just a
Allison, I hear you in the background. What's going on? What are you thinking?
Yeah. Well, it gives me mixed emotions, but with the story that you shared, catastrophe is not a place I want to work anyway. The name of the company that is supposed to know. I ain't really trying to crack that. I've been doing up all my life. I ain't trying to fight at work every day either. But I do think that there is some element to, look, if you don't want me in this way, then you did me a favor by telling me no, because that's not a job that I would have wanted to, if it was her. She would have wanted to have to fight with those people every day anyway. The culture just was not set up for her or conducive to her being successful and being creative and at her best. So I get it. Even when Auntie Dawn talks about the bright colors, I'm like, oh Lord, that make my skin move a little bit, because I'm like, wow, what is a bright color? I wonder if I wanted to put pink on one of my little locks. So it's really interesting because then at the same time, as I grow and decide to be an employer, I'm listening to you all like, wow, I guess I got to figure out too. What's acceptable, what's professional, how do you define professionalism, what does the color or the texture or the length of the hair, how does that correlate with the productivity in the person? So like you all are stirring, in this conversation, we all are stirring up a lot of stuff in my mind and heart about this particular topic. But I'm grateful for people like Tempest that called in who decided to be courageous and be someone that was representative of what it could look like. Because when I came in HR, at this time when I started to go down, that was like 8 or 9 years ago, I didn't see anybody in that role that looked like that. And it made it that much more scary for me to press in.
Right.
And so, it's just one of those things where somebody got to be the one that's the most courageous, and dang, it really sucks to be them because they're the ones that get the brunt of the pushback and the trauma or the greatest accolades.
Okay, Allison, I'm going to ask you to hold on with the rest of your thought, ladies, because it is 12:30. We've got to run over to Pledge Central really quickly to take a break and find out where we're going. But if you're just joining us, we're talking about the pleasures and perils of natural hair with our Another View Roundtable, Norfolk City Treasurer Don Hester, Professor of Political Science at Norfolk State University, Carol Pretlow, comedian and entrepreneur Allison Moore, and former journalist, talk show host, and Another View pundit Will Laviste. Let's head over to Pledge Central. How we doing, Nicole and Allison?
We are doing really well, Barbara. We are at $1,450 towards that $2,000 challenge.
We're getting there.
Oh, come on. We can get there. We can get it, everybody. 1-800-940-7170. We don't want to leave this $2,000 on the table. We want to double that and then some. So we need you to call us and give us a call right now. I know you're listening to the show. Believe me, it'll only take a few seconds. Make your pledge of support and then come back and listen to the show again. Or call right now.
Call while we're talking. That's fine.
Absolutely. Call while we're talking.
That's right, Barbara. We know that your audience, the Another View audience, always steps up. Every pledge drive, they come through for you. So we know that they're going to come through today. 1-800-940-7170. Barbara, you have me in the pledge studio wanting to sing I Am Not My Hair.
But it's looking real nice today.
Alice and I are over here grooving.
Well, but Nicole, you're natural and you've done a lot of different things with your hair. Has it ever been an issue for you in terms of corporate America?
Absolutely. I think we are so concerned about what people will think and what they'll say. And, you get the stares and people want to say stuff, but they don't. They sort of like, oh, what is that over there? What's she doing today? But it is what it is. You have to be your own individual and you got to keep it moving. That's how I look at it. Yeah. So call now, 1-800-940-7170. We are in this challenge. We have to hit this challenge by 1 o'clock. And I know we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Absolutely.
The listeners believe in public radio. They believe in you, Barbara. I think you are a very important part of the show and you. What you bring. And I can't tell you how many times that you've aired a piece or you've said, okay, coming up next week, we're going to try to figure out and unpack what's going on in this world, and so many people appreciate it, and not just African Americans.
Oh my gosh, no! Let me tell you, I have moved lunches so that I could be listening to Another View. Yeah, which is kind of nice. That's like the opposite of a driveway moment. I'm sorry, I can't go to lunch with you. I have to sit and listen to the radio. No, really, yes. When you do a promo and I think I'm going to learn something, I'm right there.
Oh wow! Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And guys, this is the holiday season too, and when you're always struggling to come up with the unique gift, something that's different, why not give a gift of membership to WHRV and to Another View? I think that, as you all know, once you become a member, you listen differently, you're a part of it differently, and so why not share that love with someone else? 1-800-940-7170, or you could go to WHRV.org. If you're listening to us via streaming, then go ahead and there's a button up top that says donate. Just go ahead and click on that button. We're not going anywhere. You'll still hear us.
We've got gifts for you, which is kind of nice. When you come online to donate, you'll see a list of the gifts that we will give you for your contribution, so that you can kind of sport your colors and be an ambassador of WHRV as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think the gifts are very nice, but I really think you give because you want to keep this type of programming on the air. It's an incentive to get the mug because we do have another View mug, and that's at $60 or $5 a month. We have, Barbara, we have over 9,000 sustaining members of this organization. Sustaining membership is what keeps the programming going. So a lot of times people say, I don't have enough money to give, but you can just give what you can, $5 a month or $10 a month, $20 a month. That's all that matters, is that you step up and invest in what you listen to every week.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. And our phone lines are lit up, ladies, so I got to go because we got to get back to the show.
Keep calling. It's 1-800-940-7170.
Absolutely. So we'll check in with Pledge Central. Hopefully we will make that goal of $2,000.
We're trying.
Let's talk to Desiree in Chesapeake. Hi, Desiree. You're on the air.
Hey, how are you, Barbara?
Good.
Good to talk to you.
Oh, is this my favorite author, Desiree?
Is this my favorite host, Barbara? Listen, girl, I don't know if they can flip me over to the Pledge Studio after I give my 2 cents right now, but I got $100 for you. So we're going to get $100 closer.
Desiree, thank you. If I'm going to ask you to dial that other number and make that pledge of support.
I will make sure I do that.
I appreciate that.
I do that.
Now, you're a natural also.
I am.
Okay.
And it was one of the most courageous things and life-changing things that I've ever done, especially as a woman, because we're so defined by how we look out in the world. But I wanted to add a little bit to the conversation about what we do to ourselves. We're talking about how the corporate world is reacting to us, but I'm going to tell you I'm just talking out of school. My parents actually said, they thought I was having a breakdown, and they said, why does she hate herself so much to do that to her hair?
Wow. That's generational.
Yeah.
Oh, it's totally generational. But if you are a younger woman, you're out there, and you got to fight the corporate world and your family.
That's a good point.
And you're trying to think about, will black men want me, or will I be so it's a lot that you're carrying on your shoulders to go into the natural world. I'll tell you, I went, and it's been 20 years for me now. I remember I was 45 because I had told people, this is how deep it is. I had told everyone around me, when I turn 50, I'm going natural. And I gave them 5 years to get used to the idea.
Wow.
And people went nuts on me. And then when they went nuts on me, I said, okay, well, fine. I'm going to do it now. So I did it at 45. But I was in journalism at that point. It was a major newspaper, so it was a corporate environment. I was being sent to do interviews with CEOs, et cetera. And I'm going to tell you, it did not stop one thing in my life. In fact, I think it just opened up so many doors for me as a human being. First of all, I stopped being afraid of weather. I'm no longer afraid of humidity. I'm no longer afraid of rain.
Exactly.
I hadn't walked in the rain since I was about 4 years old. Maybe not even then.
Swimming.
Because my mother would be so afraid for my hair. I had not worked out. I did not have an exercise regimen because I couldn't cope with my hair.
You know what, Desiree? I'm glad you brought that point up too, because there was they were talking about how doctors now need to really talk with particularly African American women about the fact they're exercising perms, one for their hair, for their health, and how the chemicals affect them, and also whether or not they are exercising because they're worried about their hair.
They are.
Absolutely.
That becomes a big issue. Desiree Cooper, who is an author of Knowing the
Mother,
Mom.
yeah.
Know the Mother. That's what it is. Know the Mother. And I hear you have a new book coming out, so we'll be chatting about that in a little while, okay?
Good. Good talking to you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your pledge.
I'm dialing that other number right now.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Bye-bye.
Barbara, can I?
Oh, go ahead, Allison.
I think that what she brought up was really, really spot on, because it did for me when I went natural. It made people. It felt like people were saying, well, what are you trying to say? It was as if people someone going natural as if, oh, they're trying to prove a point, or this is some movement, as opposed to, well, maybe I just don't want to put these chemicals in my hair. I really don't want cancer. I would prefer to live a strong, healthy life without sabotaging my own, long years and longevity and health because I'm putting like really harsh chemicals to make my hair a different texture for the purpose of your beauty standard that I don't even really know that I believe in and abide by. But when people go natural, it's like, oh, that's a trend. Or, oh, she's trying to show something. And I think that some of that is what happens in corporate spaces where the majority is white or another nationality, where they're like, oh, here we go again. This is one of those proud black women. She's going to have an attitude, too. Look at her hair. She's nappy-headed. And so now, and it's just like, wait, whoa. I just don't feel like putting a perm in my hair anymore.
I'm curious, Will, Desiree brought up the point also, and she brought up a lot of really good points, but black men, how do they, and I'm not asking you to speak for all black men, but but since we get to speak for all black people. But is natural hair an issue, or are men happier that women are moving in this direction?
It absolutely is an issue for many black men, not me personally, but for many black men. I've had many conversations. I've had, I've raised sons and a daughter and had to deal with this issue with them because, after all, they're inundated by the messages from the society. And people, we need to understand as a culture that our culture, our characteristics, who we are, is constantly under attack. So all of this is really a trick bag about you having low self-esteem and us devaluing ourselves. Now, for me, what I say is that I believe that black women are so beautiful and diverse, are the only ones that can really pull off wearing their hair in all of these different types of styles. And I think that is, you if you want to put chemicals in your hair, you should have the right to be able to do that. You should be, and you should be able to do that, recognizing that you're not necessarily doing that because you want to adhere to another culture's standards. And who taught that to me is actually my daughter. She said, "Dad, this is really about, at this day and age, this is about changing it up, being versatile. There are some days I get up and I want to have a certain look, and I should be able to have that look that I want to have." I mean, my fiance, she wears her hair in all kinds of, I get it 3 different types of women 3 times a day. People meet her at another time, and they like, did I meet you before? Because she likes the diversity.
She likes to change
so she's
up.
not doing it necessarily because she's trying to adhere to somebody else's standard. And another thing that women should realize is that you wearing a wig, which I like to call a hair hat. You wearing a wig, if your hair underneath that wig is natural, you are wearing a natural hairstyle. And if that is your preference, that's the look you want, you should be able to do that. And I think when we get to that stage, and there's a lot of women who have gotten to that stage, that's real freedom. That's real liberation, that you can wear your hair how you want to wear it based on how you feel and what look you're looking for.
Dawn, I see. I'm looking at Dawn. Hang on, Allison. Go ahead.
That's it. That's true. All this is true. We are who we are. And however we get up in the morning, if you want to put a cap on your head, which is a wig, or if you want to be natural that day, or if you want to go to the pool and swim, whatever, we have the right to do that. And so someone else making us act a different way to go to work, that is a violation.
Right.
That is a violation. But it's
and that's what we need to keep the focus on. So even in these court cases, it needs to not be about the hair. Right. The hair is the symbol of the hair is the avenue by which we're getting at that bigger issue of why you attacking who I am.
Why you discriminating?
Why you discriminating me?
Right.
Let's talk to Corinne in Chesapeake. Hi, Corinne. You're on the air.
Hey, Barbara. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
So I wanted to actually provide, obviously, the military community, I think, is often a reflection of the corporate community, and wanted to provide you kind of a moment of hope in regards to this conversation. So locally here in Portsmouth, Virginia, we actually had a group from the Coast Guard who did a nationwide survey of service members in regards to this topic. And some of their research actually has changed literally products that we are carrying in our, our Coast Guard exchanges and some of the military exchanges, as well as changing some of the measurements. So, for example, it used to be from the scalp out, to the end of the length of the hair used to be 2 inches. We've now recently upgraded that to 3.5, which for someone who has natural, and more kinky hair, that's a significant improvement. And then they've also allowed women to increase the bulk of their hair if they pull it into a ponytail or a bun up to 4 inches. So if you do happen to have braids, or something else. So it's while I know corporate America obviously is still got a long way to go, we obviously take a lot of our guidance. And I genuinely think that with some of the changes that are coming to the military community, it may end up helping the corporate environment.
That
so I just wanted to provide you.
Oh, Corinne, we appreciate
this.
That's fantastic. I'm glad you called, and it also applies to the Navy and the Army, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
It does. So each service has to evaluate their standards on their own.
So we just got to get the Air Force on board.
Yes, ma'am. But yeah, we just recently, as of like last Friday, received guidance that these policies have changed, and it was over the course of a year that, like I said, there was like 3 or 4 local folks, who happen to be people of color, decided, this is something we need to make a change on, and we need to do the research. And I had the gracious opportunity to help mentor them through this. But they literally made policy changes that I think are going to continue to, once again, benefit the military community, but as well as the corporate. So, like I said, I wanted to give you a little ray of hope there.
Thank you so much
in regards to this conversation.
Thanks so much for the call. We appreciate that. Yeah, let's talk to Yvette, and also from Chesapeake. Hi, Yvette. You're on the air.
Hey, Yvette. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
I was so excited when I heard the topic. I listen to you guys every week and everything.
Thank you.
My transition from relaxer or creamy crack, as Chris Rock said, if you have not seen Good Hair, if you have not seen his movie from 90s, Good Hair, everybody needs to check that out. But I transitioned to natural about 15 years ago. And when I made that transition, my white male associates, especially at work, had a problem with it. They didn't have a problem saying so. One asked, well, why would you want to do that? And I said, well, this is how my hair grows out of my scalp. And then the other said, well, next time I see you, I'm going to bring you a comb. And his hair was falling out. So I was like, well, you have your own problems you need to deal with. But what I found was more recently, my I have medium-sized locks. I went from afro to locks. So they're medium-sized. But what I have found is that some people don't think that it's my hair. And so one white woman came to me and she said, oh, you just got your hair done? It's really pretty. She said, does it hurt? I said, what do you mean, does it hurt? And so she said a friend of hers said when she gets her hair done, meaning I guess like extensions, box braids, like that, it hurts for a while. And I said, no, this is my hair. I said, it doesn't hurt. And so she said, well, I said, it grows like this. So she asked me if she could look. And I said, yeah. And I sat down so she could look. And she was like, oh, that's really pretty. And I said, it's locks. She said, locks? I said, yeah, it's like dreadlocks. So that's been my latest. That they didn't believe that was, they thought I was adding hair.
Wow. Yvette, thanks so much for the call and for sharing with us.
Please
Allison,
get Leon.
I know, and I will get Leon. Allison, did you have something you wanted to add real quick?
No.
Oh,
I need to know real quick. I need a buzzer. Y'all need to give me a buzzer so if I'm traveling, it'll shock us a little bit. Because I can't see you. Usually you can just lean across the seat and slap me like, shut up. Somebody else got to talk. But I can't see in the car.
Well, in that case, then I want to talk to Lee from Chesapeake.
Yep.
Lee,
go Lee.
Lee, you're on the air.
Hi, Barbara. I listen to you quite frequently.
Thank you.
And I always enjoy the program. I'm an old white lady here in Chesapeake with a funny story. When I've always been natural, needless to say, but when I was in junior high school, and of course knew not what to do with my hair, I just it was just what it was, kinky and wild. And I sat next to Albert, and I was in a school which was 95% black, and there were 4 out of 30 children. There were 4 of us in the class who were white. So I sat with Albert for 2 years, who was Negro, and we talked, and we had a lot of fun together and talking. At the end of our second year together, he said to me, "Lee, can I touch your hair?" And I said, "Sure, Albert."
Identify with that.
Because he said to me, just like mine, but it's soft. And we started to laugh. So just a funny little story.
Thank you, Lee, for sharing that story. How many of you all have had somebody ask you, "Can I touch your hair?"
I have in the last 3 years. I was on a plane, and I was sitting next to a gentleman, and we were having a conversation about Israel. He said, "Oh, can I touch your hair?" And I said, "Yeah, can I touch yours too?" and he said, "No, seriously, are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, and are you okay?" And I was like, "What in the world? This is strange." We got to talking about it, and he said, "But I couldn't imagine anybody wanting their hair to be like that." I said, "And I can't imagine anybody wanting their hair like yours either." I mean,
that is amazing.
Because just like what the previous caller said about her white colleague and his changed reaction, again, the problem that he had is not with her hair. The problem is his comfort level with her blackness. And her hair being natural shines that light on the blackness. Again, a lot of times, have you ever met someone of a different race, predominantly happens with white folks, and they immediately start talking to you about some connection that they have with a black friend or something like that?
In order to try to make that connection.
So what's happening is that they're having an uncomfortable moment with your blackness. That's all that they're seeing. So the more your hair conforms away from that and brings attention to it, their comfort level improves in their mind. So that's why it's important that we not focus on it's the hair, and it's about our blackness. That's what it is.
In Chris Rock's documentary Good Hair, there was a comedian there by the name of Paul Mooney, and one of the most famous lines out of the documentary is Paul Mooney said, "If your hair is relaxed, they are relaxed. If your hair is nappy, they are not happy."
Drop the mic. Drop the mic.
Allison, go ahead.
Allison,
go ahead.
Yeah, I think I haven't been asked not many times. A time or two, can they touch my hair? But what happens to me with my white friends, they more so will ask me, "Is her hair real?" Like they try to use me to. What about that? So what can you explain to me? So they'll think that I'm the comfortable person that can then educate them on other people. You know what I'm saying? Hair. So they're not necessarily let me touch your hair, but they definitely want me to be the tour guide in the black hair community. That I truly enjoy those moments.
The tour guide in the black hair community.
I have a staff person who is her hair is natural, and she wears a cap sometime, and she is trying to get comfortable in the natural, and so hasn't found the style yet that she is comfortable with. And some of the others in her division, whites, like her with the cap. And I will quickly say, I like the natural, so you're going to figure out how to wear that natural so you don't have to wear that cap unless you just choose to wear that cap.
Unless you choose to wear it, yeah.
Right, because, sometimes the hair might stick out or this, or, and then you just put it back in place. And that's okay. But you don't have to do something that you don't want to do.
It's really interesting, and I want to try to get this last call in just a minute. But so you got corporate America coming at you. You've got white people in general coming at you, and then you also have your own people, as Desiree was talking about, coming at you in terms of how we wear our hair, and it's just I agree with you. Well, I see what you're saying, that's just the symptomatic of the other issues that people are having. But why are we criticizing ourselves?
I don't know. And white people's hair is not all the same either.
Exactly.
Because we've been on this journey. This has been what our American journey has been. Right. That our culture and who we are as a people is constantly under attack from day one. 400 years ago, 1619, a stone's throw away from here.
Yeah.
And sometimes,
And so that's what it is. And so we have tried to navigate that without us being able to sit down with a psychiatrist, without being able to. We try to navigate in various ways. And the way that we've done it and navigated is through our music, through our food, through our worship with God, through how we express ourselves. And so that's what it is. And so,
but one of the things,
Allison, go ahead, and then I'm coming to you, Dawn. Go ahead, Allison.
I don't think that I think that we have to be accountable to the part that we played in it. So like when I went natural, my husband and I were probably married at that point maybe 6 or 7 years, and I came home like, oh, by the way, I'm natural now. But I owed him some, because for the first 6 or 7, 8 years it was, oh my God, my hair is nappy. Oh my God, it's so ugly. You see this? I got new growth. I need $80. Hurry up so we can get a perm. Then I want to come and say, oh, by the way, we don't believe in that anymore. So there's some degree of accountability there, and where we taught each other where, this is ugly, this is bad, we have to fix this. And then when the light comes on in our heart, then I can't just be like, oh, this is beautiful now. I have to go back and reassess the damage that I have already done with telling my husband that I'm the prettiest when my hair is straightest versus, oh, now I'm the prettiest when my hair is natural. And sometimes we want white people and we want Asians and we want Latinos to understand us, but I think there's a lot of work that we have to do inside our community first. Like, I can't control what Mr. Chuck and all the rest of y'all white guys think. At this point, I don't care. On pause, let me go to my sons, my brothers, my uncles, my dad, my father-in-law, and let me talk to you all about, okay, by the way, let's have a meeting.
And they got self-esteem problems, too. And they got self-esteem problems,
let Dawn have the last word, and then I want to try to get one more call in.
Okay,
Go ahead, Dawn.
This will be quick. I just want to say, how much money are we saving by going natural?
A lot.
It is important, because if you take that $80 or $100 and some dollars or whatever it was to get your hair, whatever it was before,
at least once a month,
right? And you don't have to do that
multiply
until
by 12 months.
You can stretch it out to 6 weeks or 8 weeks. Shoot, that's a lot of money that you're saving.
As a matter of fact, they're saying that the perm industry, perms that we used to put in our hair, the one that straightens, not curls, is declining. It has declined by 30% in the last 3 or 4 years, and by 2020 it will be the smallest of the hair care products.
And
that
I'm
people
proud
will be
of
using.
that, because that means sisters are getting stronger.
I want to talk to JB in Virginia Beach real quick. Hey JB, you're on the phone.
JB.
Hello, how are you?
Okay.
Hello, good afternoon to everyone. I want to call. I'm getting a 2-4 today. I'm actually calling to celebrate and congratulate my Blue 5 brother from New York, Will.
JB.
I haven't seen you for about 15 or 20 years, and I normally, I heard you from time to time when I come back in town. But congratulations. I want to say, you've had your doctorate, your PhD from the School of Hard Knocks since you left New York, brother. You know that.
All right, I appreciate you. That's Phi Beta Sigma. Phi Beta Sigma. Call it out right.
I got to say hello to Dawn, too. Dawn, I just saw you yesterday with Mom. Congratulations.
Yes.
Keep doing it. The more, the older you get, the more beautiful you are.
JB, we got to run because we're just about out of time, so I appreciate the phone call. All righty, take care. Will, we wish you the very best. Congratulations on receiving your doctorate tomorrow from Old Dominion University.
Technology, Media Studies.
And thank you, Roundtable. We will see you guys on our new day next Thursday, the 9th of January. We will kick off our new day in time. Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening, who are listening to us, and spending your Friday with us. We are so grateful to everyone who called in and renewed your membership or became a new member of WHRV. We raised $5,685. Yes. Thank you so very much. We appreciate that. It's still time to call 1-800-940-7170. Join the family. We appreciate you. Next week on Another View, a look back at some of your favorite shows from 2019. And in case you haven't heard, January 9th, Another View moves to Thursdays. So our roundtable will be there to kick us off on our new day. Our theme music was composed and performed by Jay Sennett. Lisa Godley is our show producer. Todd Washburn is our audio engineer. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. And thank you so much for listening to Another View.
Gonna be together this Christmas.